What's up everybody, this is Age and we're back with another Guild Wars 2 video. This is going to be about my top thief issues as of right now. This is coming in before ranked season 5. I want to get this out there, and this is going to be in no real particular order, and I may use interchangeably thief when I mean Daredevil or Daredevil when I mean thief, but hopefully you guys can differentiate that properly. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first one I want to talk about, the first issue, is no team utility outside of Venoms. Now, with raids being introduced into Guild Wars 2, it became very apparent that Thief did not have enough of team utility. All we had was stealth and we had Venoms. Now, stealth isn't very useful in raid, at least not right now, so all we had was Venoms, and Venom Share build is pretty much the build you take, and it's a Condi build for Thief. Now, Condi Thief in recent patches where it comes to Venom Share is actually pretty viable now, although there are probably better options to take, so Condi Thief is more like a secondary pick. And there's also Power Thief, which gives a ton of raw damage. It's great for taking down boss health rise, but it is just that, you just bring raw damage. So if your raid composition fits that, then it's perfectly fine to bring it. Hopefully down the line, Arena gives specialization a second look and gives more utility in that department. Maybe in the next expansion, the Elite Spec will give us some more utility. Now, speaking of specializations, this brings me to number 2, which is messy poor spec lines. Now, there are two problems mainly with Thief. I know people who have opinions about their profession, about their issues, but the main problems with Thief is that one is that there's a duplication of lines. That is Acrobatics and Daredevil. They're both dodge oriented. Daredevil is technically better in terms of giving extra stuff like utilities, access to staff when you want to use it, and we have specialized dodges and extra dodge on our bar, and we get Condi Cleanse and regen on successful evade. That's pretty strong, whereas on Acrobatics you gain Vigor, you do get some regen in some places, you get some safety nets and hard to catch, which helps you break stun instantly when you get stunned or something like that, and you have instant reflexes, which you can use, which is 2-second evade when you hit 50%. There's also pain response, which removes conditions. I believe it's 75% health. The second issue with the spec lines is that there are some traits that feel like they're in the wrong positions. For example, one good example is Leeching Venoms. This is a trait in Shadow Arts, and I feel like it belongs in Deadly Arts because Venoms fits with that poison, that bleeding, that, you know, you're affecting conditions on someone, and so it fits more in Deadly Arts, where that is the line. That's the line where you're doing the Condi damage stuff. Anyway, moving on to number 3. Shadow Step Condi Cleanse. This is very particular because it's also debatable as well, because the way that Shadow Step is done is ArenaNet wanted to be used as an engage tool. So the way Shadow Step works is that when you first use it, you blink to a location, you break a stun, and when you use it again, you blink back to your original location, you cleanse 3 conditions, and you also break stun again. But the way thieves use it nowadays is that they use it as a disengage tool. So when we get Condi Bomb, we blink out of there because we cannot eat any more conditions as it is. But the thing is, when we're out of there, we can't cleanse the conditions unless we go back into that fight, where there's probably a plethora of AoE waiting for us. So we either have to mitigate the damage or risk going back into that fight. Now, what Arena could do to mitigate that is have the Condi Cleanse on the first blink, or you have a 2-1 split. I'm not sure which side of the fence you want to. It would be more beneficial to put it on, maybe 1 and 2, 1 on the first blink, 2nd on the return. I don't know, but that would give more flexibility in terms of using Shadow Step as an engage or disengage tool. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is number 4, having to deal with a numerous amount of blocks, invulnerable and unblockable skills. Now, this was introduced with Heart of Thorns. Well, it became more of a thing with Heart of Thorns, and with the buffs to Warrior and Guardian and things like that, and it just became very hard, especially as a Thief player, to actually pin down these people. Now, when Basilisk Venom became unblockable, this actually helped out a little bit in terms of that. However, it is still very hard to peg down some of these professions. And now, I'm not saying Thief should be able to blow up all these professions. No, I'm not saying that at all. It's just saying it is very hard to land good damage on a capable Mesmer or capable Dragon Hunter or Berserker. because as a thief you have to keep constant pressure in order to make your damage stick, otherwise it'll just be healed or mitigated, and that's the problem. So tone down just a little bit the blocks and vulnerability. I don't really have a problem with the unblockable skills themselves. Anyway, those are my thoughts about the top thief issues right now, at least in my opinion. Hopefully maybe you have your own. Let me know in the comments below. This has been Age. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace!